Constitution will not be saved in Washington.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. It's a pretty awesome sight in the mornings. The moon is doing its striptease as it's gonna pass up Venus this evening, late this afternoon. And then it will become a whole new moon, whole new religion on Friday, as it's there at Bethlehem Star, Spica, with the sun. Now I know those of you who are new have no clue what I'm talking about. That's why you need to go back to all my videos. You're late. The feast of the bridegroom has already begun. And if you think you're gonna walk in without any oil in your lamps, you got another thing coming. On the 18th, the moon at midnight will be at the top of Libra, which means the complete transfer of power to the new church will begin. That is the last day of the first month of the new year, which is 3,333 years from the Jewish date of the Exodus. The Exodus was to occur in the first month. That's what it says in the Exodus text. It's just that the Jews have mixed it up with the Passover New Year. That happened earlier this year. But the text clearly reads that first the virus spreads through Egypt, and then Pharaoh finally lets Moses take over the dynasty, as his firstborn son is gone. Interestingly, Mercury is also trying to get to the top of Libra and just misses, retrogrades back towards the legs of Virgo, and does not come back to the top of Libra until November 22nd or ish, and that's when I'm predicting a new presidential decision. We already know it's going to take several weeks to occur with the counting of the mail-in ballots. But, you know, I know you guys want to call it mysticism, and yes, Jewish mysticism, as you believe in a supernatural God in the first place. And you try to come out against this when this is astronomy based, science based. Your supernatural God is not based on science. You can't mix the two. Mine comes from the scriptures, guys. It's what the scriptures have said is going to happen. And it's science based astronomy. And so if you're going to denounce me, which comes from the Bible, which is science-based, for your not from the Bible, supernatural, non-existent, existent, non-existence, you guys got really messed up by the enemy. So today is the anniversary of the attack on the Knights Templar, originating from the Priory of Zion. Priory is a name for a building, a house, where religious study is performed. And Sion is similar to Zion. And so it's the temple, and thus Knights Templar, the Knights of the Temple. And so from the Knights Templar came the Yorkites Freemasons, and from the Yorkites Freemasons came the Smiths. So the whole concept of buried treasure plates in Egyptian. Now you know the origin. But again, you have to go over all my videos, because that's just my conclusion based upon the premises covered in all my videos. And so today, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will be notified by their defense counsel that they have been served with the amended appeal. Here's the judge's previous order of dismissal. And so in the amended complaint, he got added as part of the terrorist plot of treason and sedition against America. He's fooling around when America is in a national crisis, under attack by the white supremacists, who are the kingmen referred to in the Book of Mormon, who are going to overthrow this nation and put a monarch on the throne, which has already happened. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering, November 22nd-ish for Mercury at the top of Libra, is Trump really going to play it out to make us think that Democrats have a chance of getting Biden in? You guys do know that Trump intended to pull a stunt of "I'm cured, I'm Superman," and ripping off his white shirt to reveal a Superman t-shirt. That's my family crest, Trump. You back off. I've gone over that with you. Superman comes from the house of El, which is Hebrew for, well, Canaanite technically, for God. And so my name, Good Cell, is actually originating from God's soul. God's soul. Soul is for solar, soleil, bende soleil for the central, and so sun. Thus, sun god, from the English Druids. And found out that the reason why we can't trace us back into the 1500s is because they didn't keep records purposely for that for the reason of secrecy and silence. And thus the Egyptian god Amun, the sun god, his name was unknown, and so obtaining his name was to obtain his power. And so thus the sun gods of England followed that same principle of the Egyptian sun god. So that's what we have to expect this week, is that Judge Jenkins should recuse himself, unless he wants to decide to judge in my favor, and quit all this nonsense is we have a national security threat. White supremacists have been called out by Oak Silver Conference. As well as by Trump and Pence. And so that was informed in the amendment. The April creation of an idol god logo for the church. I don't know why I didn't think of it until last night when so-and-so decided to make an abusive white supremacist comment to another commenter on my channel. So I had to delete him, ban him from my channel for his racism or his white supremacy. And do a video to tell him why the church is not true, as he was demanding the other woman do a video instead. So, yeah. Mormons are white supremacist. If you need more evidence, this election, which the ballots, mail-in ballots, are being sent out today, so by the end of the week we'll be getting them. I highly encourage everyone to immediately fill it out and mail it. Get it in that mail immediately. Vote early, because who knows what's going to happen. Utah is considered white supremacist, and so I don't think the conservatives are too worried. And so I'm hoping for a complete upset in the overthrow of America's decision to this year. This year I may actually vote for Biden. Not happy about it, but I have to do everything I can to try to prevent Trump from becoming president. On our ballots is a I don't know what you call them. It's a discussion about or a vote for taking off slavery from the Constitution, as if we the people can keep it on. Seriously? The Constitution says no. The Constitution says all states must conform to the Constitution of the United States. If the Constitution of Utah is not in conformity with the Constitution of the United States, it needs to change immediately. No vote for the people. And the reason why there's slavery on our Utah Constitution is because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints put it there. They're not telling you that. And so the church's statement, oh, yeah, we want Mormons to remove slavery from the Utah Constitution. Yeah, slavery's bad. They also say they don't practice polygamy. And then Nelson went and changed the temple covenant of chastity to allow for polygamy again. And then when I reported it to my first lawsuit, he then comes out not too long after and says, we changed some of the covenants. We're not going to tell you what they are. You have to pay your tithing in order to go to find out what they are. As if people had time to memorize the first set that went around. And so it's disgusting that the church thinks that they have brainwashed Mormons to the point where they can get away with whatever they want. They can just deceive Mormons. Oh, no, we're innocent. We didn't do that. Oh, was that Joseph? Oh, Yeah, well, we're not the Church of Joseph Smith anymore. We're hinge pointing. We're taking the church in a whole new direction. Yeah, Lucifer's direction. So Benson knew when he says the Constitution of the United States would not be saved in Washington. He knew. And so I don't have confidence in my vote anyway, even though I'm likely to vote Biden for the first time ever, voting for an actual presidential candidate, which violates the Constitution. We're not supposed to vote for a party. We're not supposed to have a socialist republic. That's what party government is, guys. It's a socialist republic, a second public. We're supposed to have a constitutional republic, Article 6, with Article 4. And so the GOP, oh, they want a representative republic. No. Not supposed to have that either. That's Nazism, fascism. And so yes, communism versus fascism, right here in America. Oh, but they tricked us. Oh, they named them differently. Instead of communism, they call them Democrats, thanks to the switch that occurred after World War II under the Nixon campaign, as the Nixon campaign started twisting the stars upside down of the GOP party. And so the platforms switched, and they tricked us. All those guys. But that's how they do it. And they fooled everybody, didn't they? And just redefine something or give it a new name, and nobody will know. Nobody will know, especially as they kill off the older generation, grandfather them out. And so now they're pushing through another Supreme Court justice to ensure that the Constitution will be burnt to the final ash. And the GOP, oh, how dare you say that you know what she's going to decide, even though we specifically had her appointed because we know what she's going to decide. You Democrats, you're just so evil. As we, the Republicans, are in power and are going to put her in because we have the votes. Because all those who have been infected with the coronavirus are still going to work. Can you believe that? Senator Lee betrays America as a Mormon representing Utah. And I swear he's descended from that John P. Lee. I swear. If I find out he is, oh boy, if you by chance don't know who he is, Mountain Meadows Massacre on 9/11. He's from the Danites of Brigham Young. That's why he came to Utah. Because the Danites came with Brigham Young. Because the Danites were brought into the church by Brigham Young. And they're all part and parcel of the same Illuminati-infiltrated Scottish Rites, who found out that the Smiths were the Knights Templar who saved America in 1826. As Heber C. Kimball's Wikipedia page under Masonry reveals that Heber knew and purposely came into the church to overthrow the Smiths. And so the Nauvoo Temple was decorated with carvings illustrating that they had assassinated those responsible, with the inverted pentagrams over them of the Illuminati. Nauvoo Temple being dedicated on the anniversary of the Illuminati. All right. So that's what to look for. Is today the Defense Council will show up to work after having the day off yesterday on the anniversary of the attack by the Catholic Church against the Knights Templar, and the church leaders will be consulted. It may be Thursday when they have a meeting to discuss the changes that were made in the amended complaint. There was a new the initial opening paragraph statement. I can't remember what it's called. And then the addition of adding Judge Jenkins to the counts of treason, as Judge Jenkins is now a co-conspirator, as we are in a national crisis and the church is helping it, with the federal court helping the white supremacist kingmen overthrow America and put monarchy on the throne. And so Thursday the church typically meets at 10 a.m. They used to meet in the upper room of the Salt Lake Temple. They're not doing that now, obviously. So whether they're doing it at some meeting place, at the conference center, or the church administration building, or on Zoom, or whatever they use, who knows. They'll be provided information from the lawyers, I'm assuming, on that day. That's what it seemed like happened when I first served them this time, second time around. And so Friday will be the sign of the new moon, new religion, new government being born at Spica, House of Bread. So we'll have to see what happens on Friday. Because a new moon, or a new sun, being born with Mercury, who is already identified as Trump, retrograding away from being the new leader, that does signify something. And so we'll have to find out on Friday what it is. Friday night news dump. And then on the evening of the 18th is the final day of the time period for the Exodus. That's when the new moon is rising and is at the top of Libra. So pay attention to things on earth. Revelation 12 with the Joseph Smith revision. It says, a sign in the heaven in the likeness of things on earth. So pay attention to these signs in heaven and the likenesses on earth. I've already told you what is likely to be the case, but we have to wait and find out, as other people have to exercise their agency to fulfill biblical prophecy.